Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Snow White with the Red Hair, chapter 119. When we last left our heroes, Eisetsu, Obi, and Shiryuki met up with Tsuruba Burgat at an inn at the town with the masquerade ball they're going to be infiltrating. There was a lot of courtly discussions and hidden meanings and things that I got about half of. um, but all that being said, they buckled down, discussed the broad outlines of their plans to find Madame Liera, with, I think, Shiryuki and Eisetsu infiltrating the party, and Tsuruba and Obi waiting on the outside for anything bad to happen. And all that being said, they're now getting to the ball. So let's jump right on into chapter 119. And so we open still outside, in a couple of carriages. We see Shiryuki and Tsuruba on foot, and Obi and Eisetsu in a carriage. So maybe I got the orders wrong. Yeah, because it looks like Tsuruba and Shiryuki walk off towards the manor. We see the entrance to the manor. Someone is letting in all of the nobles. Welcome. Someone, probably Shiryuki or Tsuruba, hands him a letter of some kind. Welcome again. And actually, this looks like Obi and Eisetsu as the people in the masquerade, with Shiryuki and Tsuruba waiting on the outside. Yeah, it is actually, which is weird because I thought that Shiryuki would have to be inside in order to make sure that they to know when the drug is in use, because she's the pharmaceutical expert. But anyway, the two of them, Shiryuki and Tsuruba, are waiting outside a door. They hear a knock. The door clicks open, or no, they knock, and then the door opens, and one of the servants sees them, and we know that the servants are working with Tsuruba to they don't quite have the full picture, but they are working with Tsuruba to help them gain access to the ball. Sorry for the wait. Please enter. Thank you. And Shiryuki and Tsuruba look at each other before we enter into the ballroom, and we see the masquerades in full swing. Obi and Eisetsu look around, and Obi sighs. No balconies that lead outside. Excuse me. There it is. Excuse me. No balconies that lead outside. 2 rooms blocked off with curtains. The adjoining room is closed off, exactly like Tsuruba said. And the smell. Everything is mingled together, I'm not sure. And then Obi says out loud to Eisetsu, "Let me know if you see someone you don't recognize." "I intend to, but with the low lights and the masks, it's hard. People will suspect us if we just stare at their faces, so take care." "Understood. We don't have to participate in the conversations?" "Nope. So long as we look like we're having fun talking to each other." And Obi pauses at the idea of having fun talking to Eisetsu. And then outside, Shiryuki and Tsuruba are still outside, which is weird because I thought they entered with the servant. And Shiryuki checks her pocket watch. And because we learned last chapter that they're gonna meet up every half hour. And back inside, Obi says, "It's been 30 minutes. I'll be back." "Hmm? Oh, right." And Obi walks off, and Tsuruba sees him. There he is. And we see Obi at a balcony, which is weird because I thought that he just said that there were no balconies. No balconies that lead outside, he says on page 4. Maybe he went to a different room to find a balcony? Not sure. But he swings his watch, which I guess means something. And then he grips it and walks back inside. "That was the signal, but..." He said and then Shiryuki responds, "It was strange. He said he'd flash the necklace the same number of times as his knock signal. He said he'd throw it into the garden if something was amiss. Maybe he switched from flashing it to swinging it?" I mean, I don't know. It's kind of the mystery. And then we see Obi and Eisetsu again, and Shiryuki thinks some more. No. Obi would do exactly as he said, without a doubt. Does that mean that Obi has been replaced somehow? With the masquerade, I guess it's technically possible. Um, and looking at it, I'm trying to like see if we're actually certain that that is Obi on the balcony. Because like it seems to be him. At the earlier on in page 6, but starting in the last panel of page 7, or the last panel of page 6 and going into page 7, we never see really any distinguishing marks. We see his entire body in silhouette. We see just the necklace. We see his hand, and we see his back in silhouette. So I don't know. Maybe that has to be a signal to someone. I'm not sure. But then we see someone back to the actual story. We see someone like clink a little goblet down on the table, and we finally get our cover page. This says chapter 108 for some reason. Unwavering Trust. There's a picture of Shiroyuki and Obi. And then we see someone says, "This perfume that you all use, it's a woman, we can tell that much. It has a considerably suspicious fragrance, and it seems to bring people under its spell." And another woman asks, "Why do you have... I'm sure you know what happens if this fragrance is inhaled at a high concentration." So this woman is definitely Lyra, almost certainly Lyra. And Lyra splashes it onto the other woman. And she like looks down at herself, and she kind of looks down, and then seems to grab a perfume bottle and then chugs it, which I'm pretty sure is not safe to do with perfume. But Lyra just watches this. "It's no use. The medicine you received today won't neutralize it, because it's the wrong one." So she thought that what she was going to drink would neutralize the effects of the perfume, but it's actually something else. And the woman looks back at her hand. What did you make me drink?" And then Lyra picks up one of the bottles, either the perfume bottle or the medicine bottle. And the other woman asks her, "Please, stop. Please, help me." "You're the ones who wouldn't stop. I have no desire to help you." So that's the closest we've gotten to direct motivation from Lyra. Because all we know about her is that she has some kind of relation with Toka. And I'm not sure we know exactly... Oh yeah, it's still very much shrouded in mystery what exactly her relationship with Toka is. And how she was harmed following his defeat. Is he in jail right now, I think? Either in jail or in exile, I don't remember which. Anyway, Lyra leaves. And Obi is standing by a pillar, and he's looking around. That employee hasn't moved from that spot in some time. Wait, neither has anyone else. What was... and just then, he has this like badump as he realizes something, and he turns to Eisetsu, and he talks to him. "Hey, what? Do you know why we're here right now? Why we're here? Give me a second." He's figured out that the entire party is already under the effects of the perfume. "Take the medicine the young miss gave us." "Young miss? Right. Her." And Obi like slams a pill into his mouth. "Bite it." And Eisetsu bites it. "Ow! I bit my tongue." And it looks like Obi did the same. "Yeah, young miss. What did we just eat? She smiled when she gave us this, didn't she?" And Obi smiles at him. "But you're awake now." Oh right, because the whole thing with the reason they noticed this was going on in the first place was because there were large gaps in people's memories. Right. I'm remembering things now. Sorry, I'm very, very out of it. I've had a long day at work. Anyway, but you're awake now. And Eisetsu kind of collects himself. "Medicine." And then Obi looks in the same direction Eisetsu is looking. "That guest." And he sees Lyra who I think is Lyra, in the distance. She's not walking strangely at all. Yes, she's normal, but she also doesn't seem concerned about everyone else, which is very very telling evidence. And Obi, she came from behind the curtain. And Obi looks behind the curtain, or looks at the area. He hasn't actually pulled back the curtain. Is someone still inside? And then someone says, "I have a message from my brother, madam." Oh, is this because we know Lyra? Because Lyra is the one who turns at that line, and Lyra looks at someone, and we know this is either going to be Sudaba or Tariga. Because Suraba's outside, so it's probably not him. But if Tariga is here, looking for or working with Lyra and Toka, I don't know. But we don't get to see who it was because a second passes and Lyra keeps on walking. And Obi and Eisetsu watch her. And Obi starts, but then Eisetsu stops him. "I'll keep her from leaving. You check the room." And Obi goes to check the room. He pulls back the curtain, and he sees the woman from earlier unconscious. And Obi looks at her, checks her pulse. She's breathing. What is this? The scent in here is overwhelming. And then we cut to outside, and someone steps. So Sudaba has leaped the banister or the railing or whatever to get to to get to a higher level. Sir Sudaba, Shiroyuki is down below him. "I'm sorry, could you lend me a hand?" "Oh, I'm sorry." And just then Obi comes outside. "Sudaba?" "Sir Obi." And then Obi jumps down to meet Shiroyuki. To lift her up, of course. Ever the romantic. And then Obi comes up to join them. "Obi, is everything okay? Earlier you seemed strange." "I figured. Sorry about that. I'm awake now thanks to that medicine you gave us. I'll make sure you take some later." So the reason he was being weird is because of the medicine, which means that Obi was still strong enough to have some kind of signal, even though he was, or thanks to the perfume, I mean. But means that Obi was still strong enough to resist the perfume enough to give some kind of signal at all. Which is interesting. I mean, it makes sense. That's the kind of thing that wouldn't really shock me about Obi. Anyway, moving on. "I'm awake now, thanks to that medicine you gave us. I'll make sure you take some later. Lord Sudaba offered his input. Then the two of you should be prepared. Hurry inside. She's probably fallen unconscious." Lyra has? He means? I don't know how Lyra would have fallen unconscious unless Eisetsu whacked her or something. And so the three of them move through the party. They don't really have to be all that sneaky because no one is really awake at the party. And Obi tells them, "This way." They continue their journey. We see someone else. No. It looks like Sudaba has donned a masquerade mask. I'm not quite sure where he got that, because he wasn't wearing it before the bottom half of 22. But then we see what I'm assuming is Sudaba alone with a bunch of, gamblers, maybe? And then, so they're examining the blonde woman from earlier. And Obi asks her, "Young miss?" "Right, let's move her to another room." "Got it." And then Shiroyuki takes down, she's wearing her part of her cloak to cover her lower face. "The scent of that perfume. Start the carriage immediately." No, this is a scene change. This is Lyra speaking. And Lyra enters her carriage, and she climbs up. Oh no, and she's trying to get away, and Eisetsu puts his hand inside her carriage. And Eisetsu looks at her. The two of them stare each other down. And Eisetsu asks, "Would you remove your mask?" "You wear one as well. I cannot acquiesce." And Eisetsu loosens the string tying his mask together and reveals himself to Lyra. "I must speak with you." "Are you alone?" "I am." "Please get in." And Eisetsu looks at her, which is kind of dangerous because she's almost certainly going to hit him with that concentrated perfume. But he flashes back to Shirayuki. Since it's a concern, allow me to stay with you. And Obi's, let's make that the last one. And Eisetsu looks back for a minute before he steps into the carriage. And then we cut back to our other trio. I think this is Obi speaking. I've told the Lord of this manor about me already. I'll confirm who's in attendance. I see. Suraba, will you check out front? Lord Eisetsu hasn't returned. And Shirayuki asks, he's gone? Oh, so this is another short time later, after Suraba has come back. Yes, he's nowhere in the front, nor the yard. And it sounds as if one carriage left. And Obi looks down and thinks for a minute before asking Shirayuki, how's the patient? Still not awake. We see that... Hold on. We see that they moved her to a bed already, which is better than the chair she was sleeping in earlier. But Obi responds, so we can't ask her. We need to stay by her side. You've had to take the medicine, Sir Obi, so you should take it easy for a while. I'll go search for Lord Eisetsu. I think this is Sudaba, not Shirayuki. So that was way too high a voice for that. Alright. And then sometime later, the two of them are still sitting by the woman's bedside. And Shirayuki thinks to herself, Lord Eisetsu. Sudaba has left on horseback to track down Eisetsu and Lyra. And then in the carriage, Lyra finally speaks. What is it you want, Lord Eisetsu? And Lyra takes off her mask. And Eisetsu looks at her in shock. Lady Kageya. To be continued October 24th. Okay. So, we make some good progression in this chapter. I don't think... I'm gonna talk about this final scene first. I don't think we're supposed to know who Kageya is. But I'm honestly lost a lot of the time when I'm reading this series. As you can tell by my very halting start and stop reading of this chapter. Especially because it's been 2 months since we've had a new chapter. But yeah, this chapter is it's pretty propulsive. There's a lot of forward motion. We have, basically the entire masquerade in one chapter. I mean, the masquerade technically isn't over, but I doubt, now that Lyra has left, or Kageya has left, I doubt too much more is going to happen, for the remainder of the masquerade. Is going to focus more on whatever the blonde woman says when she wakes up, and then Sudaba and Eisetsu and Kageya. But yeah, really, it's just kind of some tense, the slow realization from Obi that he's been under the spell of Lyra from the very beginning. Everyone at the masquerade has been already, conked out of it thanks to the perfume. And then he, realized it enough to take the medicine that Shirayuki gave them. The one big mystery this chapter gives us is, I have a message from my brother, madam, which I'm assuming is Tariga. Just because that's the only person whose brother would be tied up with Lyra, beyond Sudaba, who is accounted for at this moment. But yeah, honestly, I'm kind of blanking on what to talk about, which I feel kind of bad about. I'm just a little tired. But yeah, it's a good chapter. It's I will say the masks. There's something about the masks that just kind of. And I guess a masquerade, and it's supposed to be kind of, you don't know who it is, even though it's very clear who it is in this case of Obi and Eisetsu. But it just kind of throws me off when I'm describing what's going on. I don't really know why. I don't know why at all. But yeah, then we have, this woman who, there's also the mystery, I said there was only the one mystery about the brother scene, but there's also the mystery of who who this woman is. Like, she clearly seems to know something about Lyra in advance, hence why she has prepared medicine, even if it turns out to be the wrong medicine. So she seems to know something, though we don't really have any idea what. There was a part of me for a second that was like, what if it's Tariga? But that wouldn't make any sense because the woman is unconscious when supposedly Tariga mentions, I have a message from my brother, madam. So I don't have any idea. Maybe there's someone else tracking Lyra? I'm not sure. I can't think of who else it would be. But with all that said, Obi and Shirayuki are waiting for the mystery woman to wake up, and Eisetsu is confronting Lyra and recognizes her as Kageya. And yeah, that's kind of all I have to say for this chapter. Hope you all enjoy the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!